Hey guys, it's Robyn, your independent Scentsy consultant. Welcome back and welcome if you're new. Welcome to Wax Wars Thursday. So today we have got a smoky pairing of waxes that have won the Wax War voting. So we had 51 votes last week. It was pretty close again. So 28 of you voted for the red Smokies, 23 of you voted for the greens, which was the Slytherin and Just For You. So pretty close again, so keep those votes coming. It does make a difference because we've been pretty close in the last two, so make sure you get your votes in because it does matter. So today we're doing the red Smokies. So the first bar we have here is the Gryffindor bar. This is currently available in the Harry Potter 4-bar wax collection. If you want just individual bars, you'll have to add them to a Scentsy club. Otherwise, they're available as a set of 4. If you want to just get your Scentsy club, get these into like a Scentsy club and then cancel the Scentsy club immediately after you get these, that is okay too. But that is how you get this one. So this is Gryffindor, Bravery, and Determination. This one is Smoky Woods, Amber, and Cinnamon Leaf. I feel like the box art had like a lemon note as well. And on cold, this is like the bar that I guess had me the most hesitant. It is very smoky. But I get like a very like leathery note to this as well. And I kind of thought that might tone down the smoke and really ground this scent. So on cold, this one's kind of like an okay one for me. I think it's got some good complexity to it. I think I do smell some amber on cold. I definitely smell the smoky woods as the main note. And cinnamon leaf, maybe a hint in the background. Not a whole ton of spice to this though. Then we have Fireside Chats. This was part of the Scents of the Season collection back at Christmas time. And this one is currently available in clearance, so you can actually get a good deal on this one if you want to order it right now. As I'm filming this is still available. So this is Shaved Nutmeg and Blood Orange, warmed by cinnamon and smoldering embers. And yes, smoldering embers are kind of the main note here. I wouldn't pick out orange as a note, but I would pick out something fruity as a note. I would have probably guessed apple, but I could see it being orange. Definitely more cinnamon and spice in this one. This one is definitely more spice forward, and I get less smoke, more embers, if that makes sense. So I will let you know how we did. So these were done on separate days, separate occasions. I did them in the open layout for one main reason, and that is, well, two main reasons. A, I don't think these are particularly bedroom scents for me. I think these are very much more open layout scents. And B, they both smell pretty strong on cold. And I know for sure that this one is strong on cold because I've warmed it before. So I thought they were pretty strong on cold, and I thought it would be best to do them in the open layout where they have room to spread out. So for that reason, we did open layout. Because I only have one open layout, they had to go on separate days. So there's that. That's how we did it. All right, so we started them up, and then 2 hours in, we did our first check-in. So the first one that I warmed was Gryffindor. So at 2 hours, Gryffindor was smelling very much like simulated bacon bits. And I know that sounds unpleasant, and actually it kind of was. It filled the house within half an hour. Like, it was strong out the gate. I found it rather unpleasant, and I was really glad I wasn't having people over that night. I found it about medium strength. That was the blessing here, is this was not overly strong. It could have easily been a very strong scent, and it wasn't. So that was actually a blessing in disguise. I was trying really, really hard to smell any other notes like the amber or the cinnamon leaf or anything else that I got on cold or that were in the notes. And really all I could get was just simulated bacon bits. That was all I could smell. And I was a little afraid that would happen because I think when I did first sniffs of this in my haul video, I said, I hope this doesn't get bacony. And it did get bacony. It got extremely bacony, in fact. And it didn't smell like bacon. It smelled like bacon bits, like simulated bacon bits, like that sort of hickory smoke, fake smoke smell that simulated bacon bits have. I feel like I only like that scent if I'm eating a baked potato, and I wasn't. I was missing the baked potato. So this one was a no at 2 hours. So Fireside Chats at 2 hours was about a medium strength as well. And it smelled to me like just like a cozy cabin. Like if I had to picture what a cozy cabin in the woods would smell like, it would smell like Fireside Chats. Rather than smoke, I got more of an ember note, like a hot ember note, rather than smoke. And there is a difference. Like one just smells kind of hot and like woodsy. The other one smells like smoke. I did find there was some sweetness to it, like a dried or baked apple or some kind of dried fruit note, maybe raisins. I got some light spices in the background. It smelled like someone's house might naturally smell. And I think that's what I thought of this one the first time I warmed it too. It smelled like somebody else's house. And I've known people whose homes smell like this, and it's a nice, very homey, welcoming scent. It's not what my house smells like, naturally, but this is like a natural house scent for some people, and it's really welcoming and cozy. I enjoy this one. It smells like a nice warm home in the woods where people like have fruit dried and they're like very like homesteady type people. I like this a lot. For me, this was much more pleasant to the nose than Gryffindor was at the 2-hour mark. But as far as strength, they were about the same at 2 hours. At 4 hours, Gryffindor, the scent hadn't changed. It was still about medium strength, and it was sort of like a salty, leathery scent. Maybe hickory and beef jerky I wrote down, which sounds terrible, and unfortunately it kind of was. I think if you liked weathered leather or grillin' and chillin', this might be the bar for you. I noted that none of the complexity that I smelled on cold was smellable in the air on warm. And I thought maybe this one needs curing. Like potentially, I do have another bar. Maybe it just needs to sit for a few months and let some of those base notes develop to kind of, I guess, mitigate some of that smokiness. Because right now it's just all hickory smoke all the time. So my husband had come home at this point, and he said that he likes it. He thinks it's a nice neutral scent that he prefers to the Hufflepuff bar. So the day before this, I had warmed Hufflepuff. He didn't love that one. He said he preferred this one. He thought it was a nice neutral scent. I would not describe this as neutral myself, but he thought it was a nice neutral scent. I asked if he didn't smell bacon bits, and he was like, oh, no, yeah, all I can smell is bacon bits now. So it might be one of those things where once you smell it, you can't unsmell it. I don't know. But yeah. 4 hours for Fireside Chats. Medium, no change, pleasant homey scent. It's just kind of carrying on, same thing. So they're both medium at this point. They're both doing just fine. They're neck and neck at that point as far as performance goes. Next check-in was at 8 hours. And at 8 hours, we have Gryffindor, and you can smell it in the area, even if you've been out here a while. So I did notice that, like, even if I'd been sitting out here for like an hour or so, I could still smell this in the air, which is good. I mean, good relatively speaking. It's good performance-wise. I wasn't happy about smelling it. I put it at this point light medium. So it has gone down in intensity a little bit from before. Smoky, I did put down that the distinct bacon note has eased some. Now it's more like a smoky, salty type of scent, but less specifically bacon, which was an improvement. I put, it was more like weathered leather with like a tiny hint of around the campfire mixed in, would be how I would describe it at 8 hours. Fireside Chats at 8 hours. I put down, I can barely smell this right now for some reason. I seem to have gone nose blind to it. All I could smell is the Huckleberry Clementine in the office. So I had Huckleberry Clementine in the office. It wafted out and like took over much of the house. And for some reason I could smell that, but not this. So at 8 hours, I seem to be nose blind for this one, and I can't really get a good read on it. At 16 hours next morning, Gryffindor is light now. It's now sort of smelling like a much more hickory smoke type blue sage and tonka. So it has improved some for sure. I really like blue sage and tonka. This kind of reminded me of that sort of masculine cologne vibe with a lot more smokiness. So it's like a very smoky blue sage and tonka. This is an improvement. You can't smell it once you've been out here a while though. So you could smell it when you first walked into the space, but you wouldn't smell it if you were hanging out here. So at 16 hours, that's not too bad. Fireside Chats at 16 hours was also light. You can smell it when you enter the space, but it's not in your face. Smells like what someone's house might actually smell like naturally. Slightly smoky, and I put more ember than smoke still, and you definitely get dried fruit and spices. So again, the scent doesn't change on this one. Whereas Gryffindor did sort of shift a little bit for the better. Fireside Chats doesn't really change. It's kind of very much the same scent all the way through. And it's very like just homey and welcoming. Next check-in is 20 hours. So we have Gryffindor. I put down that it's very light. So it's not really very noticeable anymore, even when you first walk in, unless you're looking for it. So if you come in and just start like doing things, you probably won't notice it. But if you come in and are like sniffing around, you will smell it lightly in the air. Lightly smoky, but much more pleasant now. More like a very light wood smoke, less like bacon. So yeah, a light wood smoke scent, that's pleasant enough. We're doing okay now. It sort of smells like there's like a wood smoky jacket on the other side of the room. Like if someone had had a bonfire, come in, hung their jacket up on the hook, and like you're sitting across the room. It was like a very light wood smoke in the air. I put that it does kind of smell like Gryffindor, like the common room of Gryffindor. If they had been like doing some sort of potions class with like open fires and like they were eating bags of beef jerky. It's like that. So there's that one. 20 hours for Fireside Chats. I put down it's light. You can't smell it when you've been in the space a while, but you can smell it when you first come in. It's light and there's no change to the scent. I was finding it quite different to Gryffindor and much more pleasant. Cozy winter cabin type scent, light warm spice. So on cold, these are like comparable. On cold, this one is definitely more smoky, but these are very like similar feel on cold. On warm, they are quite different. So there's that. Next check-in is 24 hours and Gryffindor is done. Can no longer smell it at all. It is the first one to bite the dust. It is done. Fireside Chats is still light. It was kind of a very light, warm spice in the air. Very light and not very noticeable. So they're both definitely, like, Gryffindor is done at this point. This one is definitely petering out at this point. 36 hours. Gryffindor again is still done. Fireside Chats is a very light, warm spice in the air when you first walk in. I might not be able to identify exactly what scent I'm warming, but it's sort of a warm, spicy, cozy scent. And I put down very, very light. If I wasn't headed out the door right now, I would be changing it type light. But I was heading out the door, so I didn't change it. When I came home at 44 hours, it was totally gone. So it was probably changeable at 36 hours, but somewhere between there and 44, it was completely done. So we could call it 36 hours since that's when I would have changed it otherwise. So in total, Gryffindor lasted somewhere between 20 and 24 hours. We'll say 24 hours. And Fireside Chats lasted 36. So we had 12 hours difference in performance. So if we're going to go for the wax awards here, longevity-wise, Fireside Chats is the winner. Strength-wise, they were kind of neck and neck. They both reached medium at peak, so they're about the same strength at peak. I think Gryffindor held that medium strength a little bit longer than Fireside Chats did. So if we're going to go for strength, Gryffindor might be the winner on that one. Then on scent appeal, which is of course the most subjective, it depends what you're going to like. If you really like those smoky scents and you love around the campfire, or you love weathered leather, Gryffindor is probably going to be your pick. For me, I prefer those more fruity, spicy, warm type scents. So for me, Fireside Chats is far preferable. I quite enjoy this bar, whereas I quite dislike this bar. So that is my opinion there. That being said, my husband really liked Gryffindor, so your mileage may vary. That's why the scent preference one is so subjective, because on cold, I quite enjoyed this. On cold, I thought it was like a very nice, complex, sort of leathery, deep, woodsy scent. On warm, I changed my mind, but my husband thought it was fine. So there's that one. So if you're at all into those woodsy type scents, or if you like those like very cozy cabin type scents, I would grab a bar of this from clearance. I think this is quite a nice scent, especially for wintertime. Even if you just grab a bar of this and tuck it away for next fall or winter, this is really nice, and it is on clearance right now. And if you're a diehard Harry Potter fan and would be sad without this, I mean, I do think the Harry Potter collection of wax bars is worth buying. It's an excellent set of bars. I really like them. I've bought another set. I'll add some of them to my club. I am not going to add this one to my club. I do not really care for this one. But I am a big Harry Potter fan, and I think on cold I don't mind the scent. And I think what I'm going to do is hang on to my other bar until fall and see if we can get some more complexity developing in this wax to see if it'll kind of hold that on warm. Because on cold it does have more going on than it does on warm. So maybe if it rests for a few months, it will improve. So that is the red smoky ones. So thank you for voting for those ones. So this week we have two different options for voting. They are both three-way wax wars, and they're both pretty different sets of smells too, actually. So we have the sort of green aloe cucumber type scents. So we have Daydream Oasis, which is a new scent to the spring and summer catalog. We have You're the One, which was available in the Valentine's collection and might still be available on the website. And we have Aloe Water and Cucumber, which is a year-round available scent in the general catalog. Oh, that one's beautiful. So these all have sort of a very fresh, watery, aquatic, aloe cucumber type vibe to them. So those are the kind of fresh spring aquatics. And then we have these three brown waxes. And these three aren't as similar, I don't think, to one another. Like, I think these three scents are all very similar to one another, like very similar. So that is interesting. These three are very foodie, chocolatey type scents. So we have Hug in a Mug, which is like a marshmallow hot chocolate scent with like a little bit of hazelnut that we get in the fall winter catalog usually. So there is that one. We have Brownie Batter, which is not currently available. And I'm not even sure when this was available. But this is like a very rich chocolate scent. This might have been poured in it looks like on the pour date it says 2020. So this may have been available in 2020. But it's like a very rich chocolate, almost like a chocolate cake, or like, kind of reminds me of the Yankee Candle chocolate layer cake candle. So there is Brownie Batter. And then we have Mocha Doodle, which was in the like general catalog for fall and winter. And this one is like sort of, it's kind of coffee based, but there's very little coffee here. This is mostly like a creamy caramel, like nutty chocolatey type of like bakery, like very fancy Starbucks drink with very little coffee in it, like 5% coffee. And the rest is like cream, caramel, nuts, and all those like fancy syrups and stuff. So we have three sort of chocolatey, gourmand type scents. So let me know what you would like to see more next week. We have the Spring Aquatics or the Gourmand Chocolates. So let me know what you would like to see. So again, your options are Mocha Doodle, Brownie Batter, and Hug in a Mug. Or Daydream Oasis, You're the One, and Aloe Water and Cucumber. So pick one of those below. We got the Spring Aquatics or the chocolates, and you can let me know what we should do next week. So I hope things are going well this week where you are. Voting is now open for the next Wax War. So from the time this goes up until Saturday morning at about 9 o'clock Pacific time in the morning, you can vote on the next Wax War, and then I will start melting and I will report back next week. So thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.